Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video, and today's video we are going to understand the taxonomical hierarchy. Okay, we'll try to understand it with using the example of plant and the animal species. For the plant we will consider the brinjal, and for the animal we'll take the example of human being. So let's start the video. So have you ever wondered, students, that how scientists they are able to organize the million of the species on the earth? Can you think of it? Yes, this is all because of the branch of science, that is the taxonomy. So welcome to the world of taxonomy, and I already told you this is a science of classifying the life. We have to understand the taxonomical hierarchy, okay? And I already told you we are going to understand it by taking the example of one plant species and another an animal species. So without wasting the time, let's start the main topic. So first of all, we have to understand, student, before understanding the taxonomical hierarchy, what is taxonomy? So taxonomy, basically, I already told you, it's a science that is dealing with the classification of organism. However, the more technical definition includes the specific word like naming, describing and classifying the organisms. So taxonomy, we can say, is the branch of biology that deal with naming, describing and classifying the organisms. Okay, and what is the role of taxonomy? If somebody asks you, then it helps, first of all, it helps in organization of the biodiversity. Okay, the million of species I already told you earlier, and beside organization, it will also shed light on the evolutionary relationships. Okay, so this we will understand in the coming slides. Okay, so let's start the further understanding it by taking the example. So we are taking here example of the brinjal and the human, and we already know that both of them belongs to the domain eukaryota. Okay, and the kingdom, the brinjal belongs to the plantae kingdom, whereas the human belongs to the animalia kingdom. So kingdom, it will group the organism based on their fundamental trait like cell structure. So after kingdoms comes phylum and then class. The phylum for the brinjal is angiospermae, whereas for the human it is chordata, whereas the class for the brinjal is Dicotyledonea, and for human it is Mammalia. And the difference between phylum and class is that the phylum group organism with the similar body plans, whereas the class will include more specific trait like reproduction or the body coverings. Okay, after that comes the order and the family. So the order for the brinjal is Solanales, whereas for the human it is primates, and the family for the brinjal is Solanaceae, whereas for the human it is hominidae. Okay, so the order, it groups the family with similar characteristics, while the family, it will it will consider the organism with the close genetic and the structural similarities. Okay, then comes the genus and the species. Okay, for the brinjal it is the genus is Solanum, and for the human it is Homo, and the species for the brinjal is melongena. Okay, and the species for the human is a sapien. Okay, so now the binomial nomenclature, we know that it includes the genus and the species. So the scientific name of the brinjal is Solanum melongena, whereas Solanum is the genus and melongena is the species, and for human it is Homo sapiens. Okay, so what we learned so far, let's have a quick recap. So brinjal is an eggplant, okay, and it belongs to the genus Solanum, and the species is melongena. It's a flowering plant, okay, that will have seeds that will enclose the fruit. Okay, and this is the typical feature of the angiosperm, and its classification, how it is useful for us, it will help in understanding its trait and relationship with other existing plants of the same family like tomato and the potato. And particularly if we talk about the human beings, okay, so human beings, it belongs to the genus Homo, and the species is the sapien. So the scientific name of the human, we all know, is the Homo sapien. Okay, and I already told you, Homo is the genus and the sapien is the species. So we are the mammals, okay, and we share trait with the other mammals also. Okay, like, so what are our main traits that we have? We have the warm bloods. Okay, we have hair on our body, and we give birth to the young ones. Okay, so our classification, the human classification, it lies within the primates and hominidae. Okay, it will highlight our evolutionary connection to the apes and other primates. Okay, so this we already know that the human, they have been evolved from the ape and other primates. Okay, so now move on to next topic, that is why taxonomy matters. So we already know that it helps in organization of the biodiversity. Okay, and also sheds light on the evolutionary relationship, but just let's learn it in pointwise points. So first of all, it helps in identifying and studying the organism accurately, okay, with less chance of error or no chance. Second, I already told you, understanding the evolutionary relationship. And third is to avoid confusion from the common name. So the example is Panthera. It can means, anything in any language. But if there is a scientific name, okay, so there will be no confusion. And fourth, if we classify the organism, then we know which species is endangered, okay, and which species is flourishing better, so we can support the conservation and the medical research, okay. So let's have a quick recap. From brinjal to human taxonomy, what it will do, it will connect all the life through a shared system, okay. So we will have just a tree information is there, so we can just connect the dots from root to the top of the tree, okay. And this is just not naming, okay, it's understanding also our place in the nature's grand designs, okay. I already told you that there are million of species, okay, and greater biodiversity existing on the earth, so it is very crucial, the taxonomy is very crucial for understanding our place. So there is one fun fact I will share with you. Did you know human and brinjal both belongs to the same domain, that is eukaryote, okay. So that's the beauty of taxonomy. It shows how all life is connected. So there is no structural similarity between the brinjal and human, but they belongs to eukaryote, okay. So for more informative content,